Welcome to the love-infused ravings of Bach. Fuel. What I loved about going to satsang, going to teachers and sitting with teachers, is the presence of it. The presence of a satsang, right, with a good teacher is palpable, and it's so intoxicating. And then every so often there'd be a clue. There'd be something that they would throw out that was like someone throwing me a rare gemstone or something. And I never knew when they would come, those gemstones, and how many there would be during a lecture, usually one or two per lecture. And boy, that's a lot on the spiritual path when you're kind of come up against roadblocks, or you've been pondering something for a while and working on something for a while, trying to understand it. And all of a sudden you're given a puzzle piece, and it's no small thing. It's like, oh, sort of that light bulb goes on, and you take it home and you insert it and you turn it, and like it opens the lock, and you're like, oh yeah. I know for myself, I came from the suffering tradition, but once I had a few experiences, my curiosity turned on quickly because they were so powerful and so extraordinary and so free compared to my state of mind and matter when I first had those freeing experiences on ayahuasca. It was in such contrast to how my life was that it had a major impact on me. And experiencing peace of mind, complete peace of mind, silence of mind, stillness of mind. And my mind was insane. That's why I started going on these journeys, because my mind was sucking my life away. It was just destroying me. And going from that to being given this gift of a still mind for an hour, from insanity to complete stillness, was this revelation of peace that I never could have imagined. I just never imagined that a silent mind would be so peaceful. It was extraordinary, extraordinary. The medicine came back soon after that time and said that it was like a preview. You haven't earned this. You're not staying here, buddy. You have to work through your darkness, basically. And then the work began. But wow, that was extraordinary revelation experience for me that gave me fuel, right? This incredible fuel. Even talking about it now, it's not far from my sort of holistic memory of that experience. So if we're lucky, we get some experiences. I know they're not mandatory. All I know is about my own life. I've heard they're not mandatory. They've been mandatory for me, not only because they've happened to me, but they've given me incredible, I guess, faith, Faith is a good word. More than hope, it's given me faith. And then faith in going that direction, faith that there was something to find. My experience of my true nature in those first few years too on ayahuasca was, I didn't call it that. I didn't know what it was. It was an experience that I wrote about afterwards, and I called it a place. I said I felt like I was shown a place that always exists. And it was such interesting language because it didn't feel like an experience that would come and go. It felt like something that always was. And I didn't know, I had no context for that. I'd never heard of any of that stuff. But the experience itself was so striking, trying to put it into my own words and have any kind of understanding about something that's not understandable, right? It's just beyond the mind's ability to understand. But boy, that was a taste in my mouth I could never forget and have never forgotten. And that too provided I guess, extraordinary fuel for me. I mean, could end tonight. I don't know. I don't know when the fuel ends. It's like the sun burning, it's just one day it'll just peter out, or I'll peter out. Yeah, having enough fuel. That's why I wonder sometimes, are people who go in with interest. Oh, but I was gonna say that suffering at some point, the desire to go in as a sufferer, the goal is to be rid of your suffering. And, at some point that's not enough, I don't think, because I don't think it has enough love in it. I don't think it has enough curiosity in it. It's just a desire to get rid of something, which can be very strong, but it's not strong enough. It doesn't have enough strong enough positive juice in a way, because at some point you will have a great relief in your suffering. And yet, if you're interested in being free and knowing yourself totally, your motivation may decline at that point if it's just about being done with your suffering. But it seems to me it's like a 3-stage rocket or a 2-stage rocket, like a SpaceX rocket. That initial fuel of suffering takes you really high. And then at some point you hit some level, if you're lucky, I think. None of this is guaranteed. None of this might not be true for anyone, for all I know. But you hit another level, all of a sudden you fall in love with it. And I don't know if that's the right way to talk about it, but you fall in love with it. You still want to get rid of your suffering, but that's not the real fuel. That stage has fallen away, where that's the main rocket fuel. And now your main rocket fuel is your love of being free. You've tasted it enough that the love of freedom is the greatest fuel you now have. And if that's a real deep love, it's a very powerful fuel and seemingly can last a lifetime. I've seen it in my friend Marv Traeger, who's 86 now, and obviously in many, many, many others. It's tough when you get a taste of freedom and when you get a taste of your true nature for it not to intoxicate you. To me, it seems unthinkable. But I don't know. I don't know. My sense is people don't know what they're looking for, And it's totally understandable, because we all think we're looking for a thing. We think we're looking for the right experience, and it never comes. I mean, nice ones come, but they go. All of them go. They come and they go. So everybody thinks they're looking for that, because what else is there, right? You're thinking, well, what else would I be looking for? Like the mind can't even imagine, well, I must be looking for something, right? I want happiness, I want love, I want freedom, I want these things. They must be something. I can't be looking for nothing. If I was looking for nothing, I would just stay here. I would just stay in misery. I've got to find those things that are going to give me everything I want and that I deserve, or deserve in the sense of, as a birthright. So it's very understandable why we all get lost. We just can't conceive that we already are what we're looking for. And really, it's a matter of letting go and stopping the search. I think it's a lovely term, letting go. And it really comes down to that. It's letting go of all these ideas of who we think we are and how our lives should be. Such profound conditioning from the world about how we should be living our lives. It's very hard not to buy into it. It's coming at us in all directions all the time. So letting go, right? Instead of searching, it's letting go, stopping, stop looking for something else. It's not another thing. It's so counterintuitive. And I think for me, it really did take that plant medicine to reveal that to me. I don't know how I would have ever come to it on my own. And for me, it was the contrast. It wasn't a gradual moment. It was that contrast of going from insanity to peace temporarily. But that was letting go, right? It just allowed me to stop. It just allowed the mind to stop. Stop trying to figure it out. Stop trying to figure it out. I mean, just hear those words and stop trying to figure it out. And people are like, well, figure what out? Like, all of it. I mean, what a relief if you really hear that and imagine that for yourself and do it in this moment, you know? When we hear that, we're like, it feels like it's a permanent thing. And this is true with all of these very strange spiritual paradoxes. We're not talking about stop forever. We're talking about stop now. Believe me, that's hard enough. Just stop right now. That's the only time you can stop anyway. You stop now. You get a taste for it now. You see what it's like to let go now. You might pick it right back up again a few seconds later, but there's that like intention. I'm going to stop now. And who knows, right? All of a sudden you set that as more of a compass for your life. Like I'm just need to learn how to stop, even if we don't know how to do it, because it's not something that we can be taught to do. It's not something we can even remember how to do necessarily, but it becomes a sort of muscle that we've used enough times over time that it becomes a familiar move, like it's familiar access. You kind of recognize the door. So it's a letting go, it's a stop the search. Then it's just presence, right? Then some point you just fall into presence. You fall into the depth of your own being of just now. And it's everything, right? It's full-hearted, full-bodied, holistic. It's fullness. It's completely empty in that sense that there's nothing to it. It's just now. There's no story about it. There's nothing you can define it. It's like seeing everything without a story. You're just aware. There's just a bald awareness, right? Just a clear awareness, aware of now with all the sensations of being, but without a story about it, without having to understand it, without having to know what it is. And when all that falls away, you just are it. When all the habitual movements to, I have to know what's going on. I have to understand what's happening right now. When all that habitual movement dies down, we're just here. And it's free. And it's open. And it's whole. And it's fresh. There's nothing we can explain to anyone. None of the words capture it. It doesn't really feel like anything else. I guess the closest thing you can say is it feels like love. It feels like a cohesion of the mind and heart. Loving presence, right? A warm, loving presence. Don't even need to say warm. It's a loving presence. So it's like clarity. It's now with love. Beingness with love. Awareness with love. But nothing to do with thoughts. So hard to understand that. You don't need thought for this. In fact, it's the great robber. It's the great thief of your true nature. It doesn't actually steal it. Of course, that's not possible because the thief is just part of your true nature. It's part of the one thing. But the thoughts will take your attention and keep you busy. And you sort of see, oh, there's never been any problem with any of it, right? It hasn't affected my true nature at all, ever, any of it. Even the most devastating suffering, most heart-wrenching suffering, darkest suffering hasn't touched it. Nothing has. I mean, if that's not remarkable in itself, I don't know what is. I could never have imagined when I first began this journey that that could be true, when I was at the depth of my suffering, the idea that I was whole then, that who I truly was at that moment was just the same as it is now, just as whole and radiant, clear and loving. I would have been, I think, very angry, if someone had suggested that. Nothing could have felt further from the truth. And now I know, of course it was true. Of course it was true. There's no other possibility. What could affect presence?